take a look at the difference between assurance and non-assurance engagements, both of these are the types of things that we as auditors could do, so let's make sure we understand the difference between them. When we talk about an engagement, we're talking about a project, a task. This is an assignment that someone hires us for. So an assurance engagement would be an audit engagement. It would be a job that someone hires us for. When we look at assurance, there are different levels of assurance. And as auditors, we can move between these levels depending on what the job requires and depending on what that engagement requires. So it's important that you understand and that you're comfortable with what these different levels would give us or what these different levels actually mean. Absolute assurance, as we've spoken about already, is that we are prepared to give a guarantee. It is a 100% guarantee, absolute assurance. I promise you that this is definitely going to work out this way. Reasonable assurance, especially in terms of an audit, is high, but not absolute. So we talk about the assurance level offered is high, but not absolute as an auditor. Limited assurance is a lot lower in terms of assurance, and obviously no assurance whatsoever means that you basically are reporting on facts and absolutely nothing else. Let's give a very basic example in terms of these different levels. If I say to you, I lecture auditing, that is a fact. That is not an opinion. That is simply a fact. I'm giving no assurance about what I do. I am just saying my job is to lecture auditing. If I say to you, I lecture auditing and I can help you with your exams, I can help you with your studies. That is a limited level of assurance. I am telling you that I can give some kind of assurance and I can enhance your credibility or I can enhance your confidence, but I'm merely saying I can help you with your studies. That is a limited level of assurance. If I say to you, I lecture auditing and I really can help you with your studies, I can really help you to pass. If you put the work in, I'm really able to give you a good chance of passing this exam. That is a reasonable, it is a high but not absolute. I am not guaranteeing anything. Versus if I say to you, if you follow my lectures, I lecture auditing and I will guarantee that you're going to pass. I guarantee that you're going to pass. That is an absolute level. Obviously, as a student, you'd prefer an absolute level. Why would I not be prepared to do that? I don't know what's in the exam. I don't set the exam. I don't know how you study. There's possibly things that you do that I feel that not going to get you to pass. So I'm going to do everything I can as a lecturer, but it does not mean that I'm prepared to guarantee that you will pass. I don't know what's going to happen on that day. I don't know what that exam looks like. I didn't set the exam. I don't know how you study, whether or not you're actually going to be prepared for it, which means that the highest I'd be prepared to go is to say that I can give you reasonable assurance. You need to be comfortable with these levels of assurance, and different types of jobs, different tasks, things that people and companies and clients want from you is going to depend and is going to give you the levels of assurance that you need to give. If we take a look at the elements of an assurance engagement, it's a three-party relationship. It's between myself as the auditor, the third party. It is between the client, the user, as well as whoever is preparing the information. The appropriate subject matter has to be detailed. It has to be specified. When we are auditing financial statements, the subject matter will be the information within the financials. If we go all the way back to that example about buying a car, the subject matter is the car that I asked for assurance about. So we've got to be very careful that we cover an appropriate subject matter and we know what the assurance covers and what it does not cover. The suitable criteria, remember when we spoke about the car, said we had a list of criteria. You wanted it to be red, you wanted it to be within a certain price range in a certain condition. You need to have a suitable criteria. What is it that you're actually looking for from this assurance? Sufficient appropriate evidence. Spend a lot of time on this as an auditor. This is your proof. We spoke earlier about the fact that we express an opinion. This opinion is a professional opinion. We've spoken about that already. And one of the things that makes it a professional opinion is that it is backed up by evidence. I do not merely say that I believe your financials are fairly presented because I like the paper that they're written on, or I like the way they look, or you guys make really good coffee and so I'm sure your financials are fine. I base this on evidence. I base this on proof. I have to provide proof of whether or not these financials are fairly presented. And you can imagine with different levels of assurance, I as an auditor would want different types of proof. If I am merely stating facts, I do not need proof about this. If I say to you, I lecture auditing, I don't need proof of past pass rates. You don't need proof of that from me. If I say to you, on the other hand, that I guarantee that you're going to pass, before you believe me, you want absolute proof. You want proof of my 100% pass rates, for how long, how many people, testimonials, etc. So you can imagine that the levels and the amount and the type of evidence is going to differ between different levels of assurance that we give. And as an auditor, you've got to be very aware of the levels of assurance versus how much evidence and how much proof you would need to back up that opinion. And your elements, your last element we talk about is that there needs to be a written report. There is a written assurance report, and obviously within that report is going to detail the level of assurance that is given, as well as the subject matter. I want to make sure that you realize that my opinion is limited to this. I'm not going to express an opinion on your entire company. I'm not going to express an opinion on profitability. I'm not going to express an opinion on how nice the people are in your company. I'm merely expressing an opinion on the financial statements and these items within the financial statements. So we give our clients a written report, and these are the elements of our assurance engagement.